Hey guys, it's Anthony, the Healing Shaman here, and I want to share with you some tools that you can use to release anger and regret, bitterness, resentment, right? Those are the big ones that I worked on for a long time that were holding me back. And if you're still holding on to anger and regret and bitterness, resentment, I want to let you know that there is a safe way to release that. And it's a safe way to release it that honors who you are, right? It honors who you are as a human being. You don't have to make yourself wrong. You don't have to beat yourself up, right? So, first, let me say that my work with gay men is such a fulfilling way to live, right? Now, as I'm an elder in the community, I'm 63 years old. As an elder in the community, I find it so fulfilling to work with my gay brothers to heal, to work on inner healing. So if you're over 55 years old, I hope that you understand what I'm talking about because I think many of you have lived in some of the same circles or the same scenarios, right? That anyone who came out around 1980, right? So 1980, I was 19 years old, a freshman in college, and it was traumatic, right? That's the trauma with the little t, not big trauma. There were big traumas. I was assaulted in my 20s, and I went through by a partner, by a romantic partner, and later on by two guys I met in a bar and stuff like that. So yes, there's some big traumas in there, and those shape how you live, right? And those shape how you operate in the world. But if you came out as I did in 1980, then it's a different world today. And the world that we lived in then forced us to live a certain way. We had to take an identity that was imposed upon us because we didn't know anything else, right? And all of my role models back then were guys in a bar. That was the social outlet, guys in a bar. So that coupled with however you were brought up with, right? So a lot of psychologists and therapists say, well, by the time you're 10 years old, you're pretty much set with how you see the world, how you operate in the world, how you interact in the world. Your beliefs are set. A lot of your morals and values are already set by the time you're 10 years old. Well, I think for gay men, it's different, especially our age group, because if you came out at 19 or 20 years old, you had to see how other gay men operated in the world, right? And a lot of that, at least what I saw, was it all revolved around alcohol and drugs. And it was all based in anger and resentment for not being able to live fully, openly, honestly, because of the society at that time, right? So that gives us or leaves us with anger and resentment and bitterness and regret. And all of that resides in the body, right? Those are heavy emotions that you've been carrying, that I carried for a long, long time. But I want to let you know that there is a safe way to release those emotions once and for all. And you do not have to beat yourself up. You don't have to make yourself wrong. And you can actually forgive yourself, right? You're not asking forgiveness from other people. Forgive yourself for giving yourself such a hard time, right? That's the way it was then. And now we've made it this far. We lived through the AIDS epidemic. We lived through sensationalized murders of our gay brothers around the country and even around the world, right? And we're still here. But too many people, and again, if you listen to my work, please know that this is not a judgment call. This is just my own view because I've lived through this, right? But I've noticed in the last, I don't know, 15 or 20 years, so many gay men have opted out. And their big thing is going on cruises, going to the different cities that are really, really big gay meccas now for vacations and drinking and sex. Nothing wrong with that. I love sex, right? I am by no means a prude. But there's something about hiding from your true self that gives you, right? It gives you a place to hide out, right? If you want to be out there fully sexual, do it, right? But don't hide it. I don't think anyway. That's another that's another topic. But if you're living with unresolved anger and bitterness, resentment, and regret, and it still clouds the way you live, and you know it's your time for inner healing, spiritual healing, sexual healing, then I want you to listen up because it can be done in a safe way, in an effective way, but you have to be willing to be supported and you have to be willing to take the first step. You got to be willing to take the first step to your inner healing. So If you're interested in any of this, drop a comment, reach out on direct message or something like that. But it can be resolved safely, easily, and effectively, where you can turn to the inner healing and the practice of loving yourself as the divine creation that you are. All right? Thank you very much.